Rabbitohs Radio Podcast, the number one source for everything South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Welcome to another edition of Rabbitohs Radio. My name is Grant Chappell. I'm joined by Les from the Big Les Rugby League podcast. What's doing, Les?
Yeah, good, mate. Just having a bit of a quiet one today. Going to watch my brother play for the Wombats. It should be good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, my daughters are playing today. I got up early to watch the first pre-season game of the Bears, the Mighty Bears. They had up here. They had a big win today. First round draft pick, Caleb Williams. First time we got to see him in a Bears jersey, and he lit it up today through a pass which they call a frozen rope, about a 40-yard pass, moving away from his body.
Talk about multifaceted.
He's going to be special.
All sports chaps.
Oh, he's going to be special, man. And also, I stayed up last night watching my other team, Sunderland, Black Cats. They're in the championship, one below the EPL. They had a win over Cardiff City there, so beautiful. 2-0 win. Just needed my Bunnies to have a win, mate. The Bunnies weren't quite good enough to have a win the other night, and this is the Storm recap, 28 points to 16. The Storm had a win there, Les. Completion was down, I think. Had we had that 80% completion, mate, we might have been able to get away with that one. 69%. We have been hovering around above 75, 80% for the past 10 or 12 weeks here. So, just weren't good enough on the night. Pretty poor back end of the first half.
I think completions was one thing, but also just they were a bit too fast for us around the ruck. I feel like defensively we couldn't really match their speed, and that was pretty much the story of the first half. They were way too quick for us. They were getting into second phase very easily. We were just allowing them to offload again and again and again. Hughesy with his running game. Ryan Papenhuyzen, we spoke about, just some of the plays that he comes up with as well, and the fact that he doesn't really decide where he's going until he is about to get the ball in his hands, whether that's inside the back row or going around and roaming to get the ball to his outside men. He's balanced when he moves, and just the amount of speed that he has to the fact where he can just decide where he wants to go at the last minute. Really, really good performance from Ryan Papenhuyzen. It's probably one of the better games that I've seen from him this season as well. We just couldn't match their speed around the ruck. Will Warbrick coming out of his own end was a freight train. Nelson was good on the edge as well, even though playing a little bit busted up. I was lucky enough to go to the game as well. We took a colleague of ours from the States to his first rugby league game just for work.
Oh, wow.
Walk onto the field, and obviously I played there before for Marcelin as well, but he was sort of just soaking it all up. Got to high-five all the boys as they ran out as well. It was a good little experience there. Our 8,000 strong, mate. I'll tell you what, it is for somewhere where it's just a little bit hard for some people to get out there at Homebush. I think it's a great little atmosphere there, for the most part.
Yeah, I think I might talk about the crowd there to start with. Look, it's tough on a Thursday night time slot for anywhere in Sydney. We're coming 15th. They're coming obviously first. Melbourne don't have a lot of fans up in Sydney. I think it was SEN Radio, Brian Fletcher and the crew come up with an idea to, look, why don't the NRL buy Redfern Oval and turn it into a 15,000 seat stadium and make Thursday night football like an event for any of the Sydney teams that play there. It's a stone's throw from Central Station. You have corporate facilities there. You might have a stage on the outside, have bands at the end of it. Make it like a party atmosphere. If you get 10,000, it'd be like having 50 at Accor Stadium. My kids went out. They left about 6 o'clock. They had to get a bus to the juniors, a tram, 2 trains. By the time they got out, it took them an hour and 45 minutes to get their public transport. I waited till I finished work, picked them up. They never got back to the juniors till 11:45.
Yeah,
so it's a school night. My young bloke couldn't go to school the next day; he was that tired. So It's a terrible time slot. Look, it was well done to yourself and everyone who got out there and got behind the Bunnies. And look, they didn't put on their greatest performance, like you said. The ruck speed, we were texting during the game. It was they were light years apart at half time. There was the angles in behind the ruck. We just couldn't stop them, could they? They just go bang, bang, just power angles in behind the ruck, play the ball at will. We were able to sort of do something pretty similar at the back end of the game where we sort of had a couple of nice play the balls and a little bit of speed and in behind the ruck ourselves off the back of Cam Murray's try. I think the first couple of plays off the back of Cam Murray's try, we were up near the halfway, and then Cheeks lost a handle on it and threw it over the sideline. But I thought, well, anything could happen on that set of six there.
Yeah, totally. As we said, they were just too fast for us. They were getting a bit of go forward through the middle as well. I thought that Josh King's first stint was really solid. And then Trent Liero as well played nearly the whole game and just tore us apart through the middle. I thought that he must have been on Michael Jordan's Magic Juice or something or whatever it's called from Space Jam. But he was
good. Trent Liero, he's caught the eye for me.
Yeah,
188 metres, I think it was, and he was playing out of position too. He doesn't normally play there, so he normally plays
he
actually out on the edge there.
And he actually moved back into the middle. That's right, and Nelson actually moved onto that edge. So, he was solid. Nelson, I thought, for his first stint was solid, but as I said, he was playing a little bit busted there. Played big minutes for someone who looked like they had a bit of an injury. But yeah, look, just too fast for us, mate, around the ruck, and a lot of their tries came off that ruck speed and the fact that we were just sort of trampling a little bit in defence. Hughesy in his running game. Munster as well was the best game I've seen from him since he's been back. Yeah, they were just switched on Melbourne in that first half and, caused a lot of their tries.
Yeah, they've got a lot more gears to get to, Melbourne. I mean, he's only, as you said, 2 games back. Munster, he had 0 line breaks in the game, 0 line break assists. He had 2 errors. So he's got a lot to build on, that bloke. Normally he's got a couple of those try assists. He's got a line break assist. He generally has a line break or caused a few tackle breaks. So, look, he's got a few more gears to get to. That's why I've got them down as a smoky to win it. I mean, at the moment, Penrith are so far out in front, but the improvement left in the Storm with that spine, the more they play together, they've hardly been together. Nelson looks like he's in the best form he's been in all season. He was the try he scored. It's a crash ball. He went through a couple of our blokes and nearly carried 4 blokes over. That was very impressive from the big fella Nelson. And poor old Jai Gray, when he outleapt Jai Gray, was that the mismatch of the century height-wise?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
We did well to scramble and stop that try, but didn't we? We sort of scrambled to stop a few Melbourne Storm tries. I think one I remember in the first half, Jerome Hughes nearly got over and there was blokes under the ball. And look, we just kept swinging and trying our guts out all night, and it wasn't to be, I guess.
And you think about, we were talking about Cam Munster before, you think about that left edge, it's completely different, as we said on the last show, to what it was when he left the side. Obviously, they had Xavier Coates, Remus Smith, and I believe Trent Liero was still playing on the edge at that point. So he has a completely different left edge now. And what he's done with the left edge that he has at the moment, even though he's not playing his best, he's slowly getting used to that edge. Once he gets fully used to that edge, and just combinations start to flow a bit with Sean Bloor, bit of short ball to Sean Bloor, obviously Howarth and Anderson, who we've seen already have killed it over the past few weeks, but was really strong in this game, particularly Howarth. I thought that he was unbelievable. I think that they're really going to go a long way, and I even said it on the Instagram the other day. For me, they're locked into a grand final. I don't know if they're going to win the grand final, but I think they're definitely locked into play in the grand final this season. I think that they're miles ahead of a lot of other teams in this competition. I think the only team, as you said, ahead of them at the moment is Penrith, and I'm keen to see this little matchup play out as well.
Yeah, and Penrith's defence is not where it has been the last 3 years, but their ability to just come from the depths of despair. I mean, I wrote them off, and I think everyone else wrote them off. And King Gutho scored with about 8 or 9 minutes to go. They had a bloke in the bin, and they pulled that one out of the fire. But we're not even talking about that game. Look, I guess we could talk about a few positives there for the Bunnies. I thought Fletcher Myers, look, defensively, he missed 1 or 2 tackles early in that game, and him and Taane are still building combinations there. But the intercept try where I think Pappy loomed up in support. You were at the game live. I'm sure you thought Pappy was going to get him, but Pappy sort of didn't gain too much on him at all. He showed some a bit of toe there, Les.
Bit of pace there from Fletcher Myers. He was unreal. I thought that he was quite good for most of the game as well, particularly his kick returns and stuff like that. But yeah, that intercept try was unbelievable. Yeah, got a bit of toe on him. If you're going to beat Ryan Papenhuyzen, you've certainly got a bit of toe on you. And a lot of those meters were coming from that big intercept try. But yeah, look, as I said, I thought he was quite good all game. Kick returns wise, just in contact, I think he's getting better by the week. But yeah, beautiful try, a beautiful one. Tried. Obviously, had another in this game as well, but we had him as the first try scorer. I got the Neds app out, and I said, mate, I was just talking to the American bloke. I said, mate, pick a name out of here, and I'll put him on as a try scorer. And he goes, I like this Fletcher Myers. And I was like, oh, sweet. Okay, cool. Fletcher Myers first try scorer. I'm liking this. I'm liking it. Will Warbrick goes over with like 5 or 6 minutes in, and I'm like, oh, spewing. Just absolutely heartbroken. And then guess who goes over next just to rub it in, just to rub in the salt wound? Fletcher Myers.
Of course. Well, he was our brick by brick, Ramos bricklaying, hardest working player. He had the 169 run mood. It's probably courtesy of that intercept, but he scored the 2 tries, 3 tackle breaks, 1 line break, and only 1 error. One of the things I really liked about Fletcher Myers was I think the kicking game of both teams was pretty poor in this game, especially us in the first half, like Jackie White and Cody kicked it dead a few times and relieved the pressure. I think Papenhuyzen did the same thing in the first half. They did it a few times in the second half of the Storm. They just couldn't get the weight on the ball there. Then he would go back and retrieve the ball from the dead ball and sprint up, do a tap at full speed. I think one of them he made 20 metres, another one he made 10. But just, I love the urgency he shows when you get those 7 tackle sets. So that was something that was quite impressive.
Yeah, and I think as well that the big thing is because a core is so big, and this is going to sound really stupid, but because a core is so big and narrow up, it's pretty hard to get wind behind the ball. I've played there once before at Marceline, not as a half, obviously, but just watching and observing, it is quite difficult to get a little bit of wind behind the ball there at a core. And yeah, we saw that on the night. We did see that on the night from a few of the halves. Hughesy, usually his kicking game is pretty solid, and I thought for the most part it was, but he did have a few kicks here and there that sort of didn't go his way. But yeah, look, I mean, Melbourne were still, I think, a few lengths ahead of us in terms of the kicking game. I thought that White put up a few good ones. Obviously kicked for 300 plus meters, but yeah, I think that the kicking game for both sides, as you said, was a bit 50-50 there, a bit inconsistent.
Yeah, it was. Obviously, it might have been due to the stadium. Might have just been a couple of rusty blokes there. But look, we got a couple of good kicks away, and geez, I thought one of them was Shaq Mitchell. He was the big fella. He come on. I think his first involvement might have been an error on the play of the ball, and he was dirty on himself. But I think from then on in, he showed his wares. He obviously had that nice kick. He had a couple of carries. He come up with a big shot. He dropped the left shoulder in on one bloke and hammered him when they were coming out of yardage. And I thought his involvement in that spectacular try from Fletcher Myers' second try where Katie Walker did the double cutout pass and it just hit the soft hands of Shaq Mitchell and he helped it on to Cheeks. Cheek tapped it over and, well, Tane's done it again. Another try assist with a tunnel ball out to Fletcher Myers and it was a beautiful half volley pickup from Fletcher Myers under pressure there to get out. That was surely our try of the game, that one, mate. A bit of a highlight for the boys.
Yeah, totally. Just picking them off a little bit there later in the game. But, yeah, look, it was a beautiful bit of skill there from Taane Milne through the legs. I thought that he had a pretty decent game as well, to be honest. Just watching that game back, I thought that he was pretty good coming out of his own end as well. Had the 14 runs, got heavily involved through tackle bust. Defensively, I thought he was okay. There was a few lapses in there, but I thought attacking-wise, just running the ball, I thought he still had a pretty decent night.
Yeah, he certainly did. Look, another one was, we talked about a big shot there by Big Shaq. Sean Kepi, I put it up on our YouTube channel there, just clipped it up. It's only a short one if you wanted to have a look there at the Rabbitohs Radio YouTube shorts there. It was the Adam Sampson tackle of the week, and Sean Kepi, big shot on Jack Howarth coming out of trouble, and the head snapped right back when you seen when you seen Big Sean come out and lay the lumber, and he's capable of that. Sean Kepi, he had some good moments. I think his front row partner was good too, Davey, in his 50th game. the 37 minutes, 27 tackles, no misses, quite impressive, and 0 errors there from Davey as well.
Yeah, as I said, Davey's first stint was unbelievable. I thought that he was really strong through the middle. Obviously, was winning a little bit of a battle there through the middle compared to guys like I thought Tui Kankamitha was pretty just not up to his best for that game. Only had the 5 runs throughout the entire game for him. But yeah, I thought Davey's first stint, he was definitely winning a bit of a battle there through the middle, just looking dangerous with his runs. But yeah, look, I mean, 6 runs, 72 meters. It's pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good. 6 runs for 76 meters. That's at least, 10 or so, 10, 15 meters per run. So, yeah, he's done very well. As I said, his first stint was unbelievable. Only got a few minutes, I think, coming back on, 15 or so minutes coming back on. Would have liked to have seen him get more minutes. We sort of spoke about it when you were speaking to his old man before the game. Would have liked to have seen him get a few more minutes in this one and just get some time to make a statement out there on the field. But obviously, more minutes were given to Tommy Burgess, who came on and played 53 minutes. Did an all right job there through the middle.
Yeah, I mean, Tom's the ultimate professional. He bends the line every time he gets the thing. There was also, I think it might have been Cam Murray's try. Dave Mwali did this really explosive, powerful hit up, and off the back of that, they were able to do a double shift right and turn Cam Murray underneath. So you can almost give Davey a little tap on the shoulder for that try because he created the space in the left edge defence of the Melbourne Storm there for Cam Murray to come up and put a big palm on Harry Grant there to go over. That was a beautiful try by the captain. And again, another 80-minute performance by Cam. I mean, we expect it from Cam. It would have been nice to see him a little bit more in the middle and try and get a bit of ruck speed in that back end of the first half where we're just on the back foot there. But, yeah, Captain Cam Murray, if you go back and listen to his press conference, I think we clipped a little bit up in our socials there. I've got a short there on our YouTube channel as well. The way he speaks, I think he's just a great leader. Cam Murray talks about it's our responsibility when you wear that jersey every week to go out and do your absolute best. We're not going to be run over by the opposition. We're not going to be stood over by it. We're going to continue to swing. I went for an early swim this morning, Les, down there at Little Bay, and the bloke who runs a Sparrow event, Steve McDermott, we're just having a chat about a bit of bunny stuff as you do, and he said, what about this stat for you, chaps? 11.4 players have been unavailable on average per week this season out of our top 30. That's incredible stuff.
Fucking hell. That's hectic. That is insane to hear that.
We've had under 19 players available to pick out of your top 30 the entire season so far. So people, I know we probably could have done better in those first 10 games where we only won the one, but you take that out, we've probably done all right at the back end of the season.
Yeah, look, and I think the second half was a lot better than the first, and it showed a lot more fight. It actually showed that we were competing as well, which is, at the end of the day, that was the best bit for me. That we were just in the fight, competing for the second half there. Just getting into Melbourne's end a little bit more. Melbourne sort of backed off a little bit in defence, and we got a bit of the run of play. You were speaking about Cameron Murray. I thought his defence, just watching him live, was outstanding. His tackle technique is awesome. Just on the edge there, obviously playing a little bit out of position. Obviously, he's very used to playing through the middle there. And as you said, I would have loved to have seen him get back in the middle and just add a little bit of leg speed through the middle as well. I mean, we've seen it work so well for other sides, including ourselves, with Cam Murray there at 13. Just the ability to get on his front, quick play the balls and generate a bit of leg speed through the middle. It's something that we probably would have needed, at the later stages of this game if we were to make a bit of a comeback. Look, I'll tell you what, mate, we're so used to Keon running 200 metres, 95 metres in this game. I'm not saying he was terrible. He certainly had some great moments, but just not getting as much impact through the middle as what we were used to seeing from Keon.
Yeah, the big fella might be getting tired at this stage of the season. He's I suppose he'd be one of the bigger back rowers in the competition to be able to move him into the middle. It's probably starting to take its toll. Didn't play the full game, 54 minutes. So we can give him a bit of a reprieve there, but we've still got a few games left. Maybe the coaching staff might look to, now that Cam Murray's got the full fitness back and he's just played the full game again, maybe give him a little bit more time. In the middle of the park there, I thought Talis Duncan was good again. Lucky enough to have a chat with him if you want to have a look at that full episode there. The honesty in which he speaks about being a South Sydney Rabbitoh, signed till the end of next year, he's keen to extend. Look, the more and more I see this bloke, I can't wait to see what he's going to do under the coach Wayne Bennett. I think about Plaffy up there. They call him the Psycho Plaff up there at the Dolphins. I mean, he could be something like that. A middle, he could play 5'8", he could play lock, but you just need him on the field going 100 miles an hour like he does. He put on a couple of shots again the other night. He had a couple of nice runs, but didn't get a lot of game time. 29 minutes again. I know they had to share the workload around a fair bit. Pete got a bit more game time this week. Pete got the 29 minutes as well, and I like what I've seen from Pete again. He just got that little bit more of an opportunity. They instead of putting Cam in the middle, I think we used Damien Cook towards the middle of the field as well. There was a few out-in balls between him and Jack White, and that almost came off when Jack took it right to the line. He had him off his hip, Damien Cook. So, hats off to Ben Hornby. There's plenty of reasons for South to give up the other night, Les. We're down 26-4, 20 minutes to go, nothing to play for. But maybe they were just looking at the Rabbitoh heart on their chest there, and they just dug deep and got themselves to the point where they almost made a contest of that one, Les.
Yeah, totally, mate. As I said, the second half was a lot better than the first. We competed a lot more. I think, as you said, Damien Cook, we were sort of a bit critical about moving him into the middle there. But, I thought that he played almost like a second 5'8". Great distributor. I thought he did some nice things there through the middle of the park. Speaking of Talis Duncan, I think this is a pretty easy fix for me. This is probably what I'd be doing going into next week. I know Hornby doesn't like to change his side up too much, but this is what I'd be doing. I'd be going with Keon starting in the front row. I'd move Kepi to the bench because I think his impact off the bench would be great. I'd be moving Talis into the starting back row and having Cam Murray at 13. That's how I'd sort of be looking at moving around the side a little bit. I think it solves the rotational problem. I'd be playing Talis for close to 80 minutes on the edge. I'd be playing Cam Murray there for close to 50 to 60 minutes in the middle there. You can move Keon into that lock forward role if you need to take Cam off for a bit of a spell, or you can even move Talis into the middle for a stage there when Cam Murray comes off. But I think that that's probably the way to go, the way that I'd be sort of moving this side around a little bit if I was the head honcho there, but obviously I'm not. But I'm keen to hear your thoughts on maybe if that is the right move to move Cam Murray into the middle there and just sort of switch up the rotation a bit.
Absolutely love it, mate. That's exactly what I'd be doing at the moment. Trying to change things up a little bit towards the back end of the season and see what we got there. He had a couple of games on the edge here, Talis Duncan. We've seen what Keon can do. We like him in the middle, and hopefully he's heading towards that being part of that front row rotation. With the likes of big Tommy B walking out the door, we're going to lose a lot of experience in the middle. Keon's sort of that next big bloke with experience. Mate, I like the look of that. As you said, you don't want to change things up too much. I mean, going forward over the next month or two, we want to see Fletcher Myers and Jacob Gagai. Is Jacob Gagai someone that is looking to be re-signed? I asked him the other day. He's in negotiations with them, and that's not over the line yet, Jacob Gagai. I don't know if Taane is going to re-sign either. So we want to see what we've got with Fletcher Myers and Gagai out in the wings. Ty Munrose looks like he's going to play next week. Don't know whether they put him straight into first grade. He's only played 5 first grade games. He might have to come through the pathway system to start with. But yeah, back rowers. We are sort of short of back rowers with all the injuries we've had with Hosty succumbing to an injury, Jairo out. Thomas Fletcher, who's recovering from a bit of surgery at the moment. Yeah, we really need to see what we've got in the depth in the back row.
Well, just to clear up a bit of confusion as well for the people listening in, I think the Ewan Aiken signing is confirmed. I think they just didn't announce it because it got leaked, but I think that is done. I think that he's signed over to South Sydney. Not sure the length of the deal, but I'm pretty sure that's already over the line, and he'll be playing for us next season. So it'd be good to have a little bit of back row stocks there. Obviously, he's not going to be playing too much footy for the rest of the year with that pec injury, but I think it'll be good to have someone like him coming in. I think it's exactly what we need, just another edge guy, but also someone with a bit of speed there as well. Obviously, his experience in the centres and in the outside backs, I think he just had a bit of speed there in the back row, but he's also a great facilitator as well, but very tough in defence. I think it's perfect.
Yep.
I think it's exactly what we need. In terms of right now, though, yeah, look, I'd be going for a back row combination of probably Tallis Duncan and maybe Michael Cheekham, but I am a little bit hesitant. I think that Cheekham can play a good role off the bench for me. I just feel like defensively, I think he's got a little bit to work on after watching this game. Michael Cheekham, he's been great for us all year. He's been absolutely outstanding, but just after watching that one, there's a few defensive tweaks that I'd probably make going into the back end of the season, and I'm sure that he's aware of that as well, and that he's going to come out firing going into next week, this coming week. Sorry.
Yeah, fair point there, Cheeks. Probably would like a few moments back there. I think he missed a few tackles here and there over the last couple of weeks. Just might have lost his confidence there defensively. Look, he had some nice carries during the game, and he played his part in probably the best try in the last couple of weeks with the tap on to Taane for the tunnel ball. But yeah, fair enough. We might be looking at something like that over the next couple of weeks. But I might get your thoughts on Jack White and 20 carries. He doesn't play like a normal 5'8". He does play like a centre or a back rower. 20 carries, 159 mood. His 4 tackle breaks, which is great from Jack. You know what his energy's like. He come up with a couple of one-on-one tackles, try savers. Looking at a guy like Aiken that you just talked about, very, very similar body shape, very similar work rate. Is someone, Jack White, and someone you could see sitting on the left edge back row. He's got a great left foot kicking game. If you think back to John Sutton, who wasn't as explosive as Jack White, but he went from the halves, a big 5'8" with some soft hands, Johnny Sutton. Put him out on that left edge. He's just a great option if they want to rush up on the open side, put pressure on. You can swing it back to the left, and you got Jack White to be able to kick down a left-hand corridor. I'd like to see him, give him an opportunity in the back row.
Oh, look, I don't think he's at that stage of his career yet. I think that he's got maybe 1 or 2, maybe more years to go before we're looking at that sort of move. And they were talking about it at the start of this year when they were figuring out where he was going to fit into this rotation. I think it's more likely that you see him in the centres next year more than back row. I think that he goes back to left centre. You have a centre pairing of Jack Whiten and Campbell Graham, and then obviously the wings, Alex Johnston and one of, Tyrone Munro, Jacob Gagai, maybe Fletcher Myers gets into the conversation if he has a good preseason, but one of those guys as well. Look, I think that Whiten's more likely to end up in the centres than the back row. And look, I think he'd do a job there for sure, but I just don't think he's there yet. And I also like Jack Whiten roaming both sides of the ruck. I like him at 5'8", just roaming both sides of the ruck, getting his hands on the ball. And I think we need that as well. So I like him better at 5'8", to be honest. Look, I can definitely see him playing that role well a little bit later on, though, not right now. I think that he's not at that stage yet. Speaking on his performance, though, 20 carries, 159 metres. You spoke about it already. Absolute gun there. I thought that he was trying his heart out for us to get us back in the game. Does play a little bit like a centre, just with the lines that he runs as well. But I like that as well. I like a bit more of a running 6 and just let Cody run the side a little bit more as well. Very impressive performance from Whiten, especially in a side where obviously we weren't going too well for majority of this game. I thought that he really stood out and tried to create a lot of opportunities for this side.
Yeah, he did. I thought I missed a point there. It was giving him a rap. He was one of those guys that just doesn't stop all night. He's going to compete on every single play. He's going to give you every single thing he's got. He's the ultimate team player. And what makes him even more of an ultimate team player is left Canberra, and who was down there for Puppy's 301st game to celebrate in Canberra in the grandstands? Jack Whiten down there with his teammates. driving 3 or 4 hours from down here in Sydney to get down there. Well done to him. He's so popular down there in Canberra, and I'm sure he's going to leave a legacy here at the mighty South Sydney Rabbitohs. Just on the Olympics there, Les, Ray Gun, mate, the breakdancer. She's been all over social media. People are giving her a bit of stick, but for me, being a former breakdancer myself down there at the Coogee Palace, and I used to get a few circles going.
Oh,
She had
God.
all my favourite ones. She had the sprinkler and the kangaroo, and she didn't quite pull out the dolphin dive into the worm, one of my go-to moves, but mate, good on her. She was having so much fun out there. Look, I mean, she probably wasn't competitive in the medal side of things, but mate, pull your heads in, blokes giving her a ribbon. She went out on the world stage and she dead set put on a show, and she made me laugh, mate. She was having a great time out there.
Yeah, mate, I'll tell you what, I needed some witness accounts from you dancing at the Palace, mate. That would have been a sight. That would have been an absolute sight. But yeah, look, yeah, don't give. What about the Aussie spirit, right? So he's an Aussie out there competing in the Olympics. You can't give her a stick. Yeah, look, maybe we could have done a few of those dance moves for sure. Maybe on a good night with a few drinks in, I might be able to pull off a few of those. But look, I think that she's done very well to get herself into this position to be in the Olympics. You're not an Olympian unless you put in the work for years and years and years and get yourself to that stage. So she's putting the work. She's gotten herself there. You can't criticize that. You can't criticize hard work and determination to get yourself to that stage. Look, I think I was talking about it on Levels the other day, just in regards to some of the sports in the Olympics. Yeah, look, I think there's definitely a few 50-50s in there for sure. Some people, that have been watching the Olympics for a long time, seen it in its early days. They want more conventional sports out there, but the world is just changing. I mean, all of these things are going to start to come in. That's just how it's going to be, how it's going to, unfold. So I think we've just got to sit back and watch and enjoy, I guess, rather than sit there and criticize.
Yeah, no, good point, mate. Good point. We're all having a crack, and we've been the most impressive country in the world. No surprise, but sport's friggin' mad down here in Australia. Anything to do with the water, we won medals. I mean, we're surrounded by water. We're in the water all the time. 80% of our population lives within 20 k's of the coastline, so no surprises there. But look, we might leave that one, Les. You got anything else for us?
Nah, mate. Look, as I said, the crowd probably wasn't the best. Obviously, not too many of us there, but I still thought they did a great job there at Allianz. Just a quick shout out to Bryce as well. He's working with the club, absolute legend. Hooked us up with those with that pass to come out onto the field and stuff like that. Get us around the boys. It was a great experience. Got to see Ben Lowe as well give a speech with his brother. Before the game as well, which was great. Yeah, look, great little experience there. He did very well to hook us up. It was a great night, and yeah, just wanted to give him a bit of a shout out there and a thank you for that one. It was really good, and as I said, look, even though it is a bugger of a place to get out to, Homebush, I think that the atmosphere there is still quite good. The lights, just how big. If that place was packed out, I mean, I went there for Origin 1. It is such a spectacle. So I thought they did very well with the 8,000 strong that were there.
Yeah, no, Bryce is a great bloke. Bryce, they do a great job, the game day team at the Rabbitohs. Any corporate packages you want, jump on the Rabbitohs website to organise that. I'm looking forward to next week. I think we play the Tigers out there at Campbelltown. 50-50 to go to that one, but I'll definitely be there at the Newcastle game the week after. It's going to be members appreciation round, so I'm going to be doing a MC and a pre-game show up in the members lounge and a post-game show there for the Newcastle Knights. Any of you members want to get up there for that one. But that might be it for another edition of Rabbitohs Radio Podcast. Up the mighty Rabbitohs.
Fun.